We talk about how unity is really important and crucial to bring us together for the greater good. And we usually give an example of, let's say, the European Union, how they come together in order to make sure that their agenda is fulfilled and what they want happens. And we criticize how the African Union is actually not really effective in uniting and bringing countries and enforcing the plans that they come up with. But now in recent years, we are seeing some sort of divide when it comes to the European Union. And this can't be good for them, not for the rest of the world, but for them. It's not looking good because we are seeing cracks and we are seeing that they are turning against each other. For example, we are seeing more European members of parliament standing up and actually disagreeing with their own people. We talked about Claire Daly calling out her own people. She's an Irish politician, but there's another Irish politician known to speak about his own people and blast them if need be. His name is Wallace, and recently he said this about NATO and the Western world.
Or execute and bomb people on a daily basis. The Israelis, the US, the Saudis, for example. They are our business partners, so we don't care what they do. Countries that resist Western imperialism, who fight back against regime change operations, or even overthrow Western puppet regimes. Countries like Iran, Cuba, Venezuela, Bolivia, Yemen, Syria, Palestine. These countries we attack. The US, NATO and their partners, when not bombing these countries, are strangling them to death. Tens, if not hundreds of thousands of people are dying each year from illegal Western sanctions and embargoes, from lack of access to medicine and functional infrastructure. The hostility against Iran is intense. Iranian scientists are assassinated by Israelis. The US drone bombed the revered General Soleimani, the man who did most to defeat ISIS in Iraq. Infrastructure is targeted and destroyed. The Israelis routinely blow up oil tankers destined for other sanctioned countries. The US imprisons individuals suspected of violating their illegal sanctions against Iran, taking them hostages. The US wouldn't even relax the sanctions regime during the COVID-19 crisis. Weapons are being smuggled into Iran to arm forces hostile to the government. You could possibly understand the Iranian government's paranoia about spies and infiltrators. The murder of Palestinians, the bombing and starving of Yemenis, the beheading and the brutal treatment of women in Saudi Arabia, Syrians dying from cholera. This meets silence. But for Iran, we passed countless resolutions about every human rights violation, real or imagined. We call for sanctions while engaging in unhinged, blatant racist discourse. The groups are calling for a special task force to deal with so-called hostile foreign regimes. But what you need to do is stop being hostile to foreign governments. You need to stop promoting NATO lies and stop interfering in other countries. Stop behaving like colonialists.
He was talking about how the Western world treats other countries. He was specifically talking about Iran and also Yemen. But this goes to every other country that the US deals with, especially African countries. This is something that we've been talking about for a long time now, and it's interesting to see them talking about it and actually pointing the finger on one another. As I said earlier when I started this video, can't be good for them, because when they start dividing, when they start calling out each other, it's only going to create a gap, and it's only going to expose the truth and reveal it to us, the rest of the world. But as he was saying, that is the tactic that they are using, and honestly, it has worked for them but hurt other countries, and countries are paying the price till this day because of sanctions. Look at Zimbabwe. Until this day, they haven't removed that sanction. Just because they didn't agree with what Mugabe has done, the people pay the price until 2023, and it continues. They don't even plan to change it. They're not even talking about it, to the point where now Zimbabweans are getting ready to sue the US, and they're asking for reparation because they lost so much money and they went through hell because the Western world was not happy with their government. This needs to stop, and it's about time that it gets addressed, especially in the European Parliament. I don't know if they're going to hear him out. We haven't seen them care at all. So I highly doubt that this is going to make a huge difference, the fact that he's speaking up, but we're not mad at seeing them call each other out. Anyways, fam, let us know down below what your thoughts are about this. I am Wongel Zelalem. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.